Rogue Trader. I was somewhat brusque at our first meeting, and I would like to make up for it by expressing my thanks for your assistance in the electrodynamic Cenobium. Your arrival could not have come at a better time. Thanks to you, I have succeeded in finding the object that brought me to this system in the first place. Now that the weapon of corruption has been seized from the cult, I can satisfy the Lord Inquisitor's wish and travel with you to Footfall, once you have finished your business on Rycat. There is one more thing. The Lord Inquisitor gave me this item some time ago. He must have thought it likely that I would find myself aboard this vessel sooner than he. I was instructed to deliver this device to Lady Theodora. However, given recent events, I believe I ought to present it to you. This is an elucidator, a sacred machine capable of translating the languages of remote and lost worlds into Low Gothic. It can even process Xenos languages to a certain degree. Not without infelicities, but possibly well.
Okay, so this looks like it is our first official flirt line, which it's coming kind of early and I'm very excited. I mean, I don't know if this is a flirt line, but it's the start of a I just realized, does Tess have flowers on her desk? She does. Is that really? Okay, you know what? The fact that Tess potentially has flowers on her desk, I got distracted, but that makes me so happy. But a strange choice for your first love token. Yes.
It's not.
It's not?
It is not.
Are you sure?
A love token, Lord
Yeah, it is.
Captain. It is a rare and valuable device that will be a useful tool in the hands of the Rogue Trader.
He steels himself with visible effort and continues more calmly. Uh-huh. And we passed a perception check. Ooh. He cuts you a glance, one which you suddenly realize is charged with a strange, almost personal interest, before deferentially averting, oh no. No, he liked it, I think.
Apologies in advance if I unknowingly violate the protocol for conversing with someone of your elevated status. I think a slip in composure is to be expected when one is hosted personally in the Lord Captain's study.
So what do you think will become of the electrodynamic Cenobium after everything?
It all depends on the electro-priests who survived the attack. Fortunately for them, the cultists did not manage to seriously corrupt the holy site, partly thanks to the priesthood's efforts. Nevertheless, I would not be surprised if the local explorator fleet decides to audit and purge the damaged units once it hears about what has happened.
So what do you plan to do now?
I would like to offer my assistance in resolving your immediate problems. I am aware that the ship suffered considerable losses during the recent mutiny and was damaged by the cultists' actions, and you have lost many valuable officers as well. You are in a difficult situation. I am at your disposal.
Oh, I bet you are. I mean, conversing with you is no less disconcerting for me.
After serving in the Holy Ordos all these years, I am used to people being wary of me.
A little more, and sorry, you misunderstand me. I'm not unnerved by your status, but by you personally. I assume that this is referring to him being a psyker, which... pot, meat, kettle kind of thing. A little more, my pious trepidation will turn into something much less seemly, and one cannot blame the Imperium's citizens for fearing the Inquisition. We'll go with 2. Yes. Yeah. Yes?
I will let your remark go unanswered.
Really?
Until evidence arises to confirm my suspicions about your reasons for making it.
I think this is good. This is good for this is interesting. Admit it, you did not come here to shower me with thanks and give me the elucidator. Oh. Why don't you sit down? I'd be pleased to devote more time to your visit. I wish to return to other more pressing matters, although I wouldn't mind continuing this conversation. No. Why don't you sit down? We can chat more.
There is no need. Under different circumstances, I would welcome the chance to speak with you at greater length, but your subjects await.
The interrogator's answer comes too quickly, as if he's eager to end the conversation as soon as possible.
Thank you for your time. Please consider me at your complete disposal while I am aboard your vessel.
Ah, Victus! Hey, Victus! Congratulations on the victory. Why, thank you. The entire vessel was impatiently awaiting the news of your expedition's success. The rumors about you not simply saving the Tech Priest Monastery, but actually eliminating the source of the mutiny are spreading like wildfire. The Vox transmission from across the world speaks of nothing else. The governor is expecting you at his command center to discuss matters. Okay. I'm sure the governor is very eager to hear what I have to say. I don't think the governor wants to hear what I have to say. It will not be pleasant. But that's fine. Okay. Let's pick... Do we do one more into... I feel like... Okay. You know what? No. Combat Master. No swift movements. Dueling Mastery. Nimble. Power. No. So, at this point... This, because she already has it. So I don't feel like any of these are what we, well, ooh. I guess for right now, I almost feel like this is a good one to have. Okay. Let's just start leveling everybody. So thinking about it more, I know what fight is coming, and it is a terrifying fight. I'm not gonna lie. It's a beefy fight. So I think, though, what I'm going to do is leave Pascal behind. And I'm going to take Cassia instead, because I think having her bring it down ability is going to be more helpful, especially if I can have her use it on Adira or on Tess. And kind of keep them at a distance, but get extra hits in on them. That would be a really good idea. So... commanding Steel Resolve, Officer's Resolve, Blood of Martyrs. Whenever an ally uses a heroic act, that ally gains temporary wounds equal to personal oversight. Whenever an officer targets an ally with an action, an ability, or an attack, resolve is increased by +1. Ooh. Okay. Physical encouragement. Whenever an ally starts a turn, including any extra turn adjacent to the officer, that ally gains MP. Oh. Huh. Iron Discipline. Allies affected by the officer's abilities gain a bonus to all resistance tests equal to... That's not bad either. Half of the bonus granted by voice of command remain until the end of combat. Heroism. Whenever heroic act is used in combat by any character, the officer's next attack will cost... Ooh. Whenever an ally is affected by an officer's ability that grants temporary wounds, that ally's armor... That's also not bad. Inspiring Speech. Air of Authority immediately grants momentum to the target equal to the target. Ooh. Abilities gain a bonus to their weapons. No, we need this. To their weapon skill equal to... And deal... Yeah. This is only on... all forms of cloak. So this will affect Heinrix and Abelard, which will actually be because we use it the most on them. So I think that's actually a really good idea. Let's give you might as well up that. I mean, she's not really going to be using like her weapon abilities aren't necessarily what we're here for, but I think we get so many of those. Nimble. It will not die. She's already gotten all of that. Breaking point. Yeah, so I'll give her this just to kind of help with whenever we have her just kind of finish off with an ability. This one. Chain Weapon Expert. She's not using chain weapon. She's already got all of that. Let's do Swift Movement. I think that'll be helpful. Awareness. Yes. Adira's turn. We're so close to max already. Ballistic. Now. Yeah. Let's up dodge. Abelard's turn. Your agility. And then let's do 2 movement points. your turn. Oh my gosh, the more people we have, the more it's like, more to level. This just takes longer and longer. So strength, agility, willpower. Let's give you agility too. Let's do, you don't have, well, let's give you dodge. Then Pascal. We'll up your intelligence. We're gonna do, so you've got nimble. What is, okay, yeah. That's actually a fantastic idea. Okay, so everybody is ranked now. Whew! We did it. We got everybody where they needed to be. Up the bridge, Tess. That was so speedy. Okay. Anything you want to talk about real quick?
Lord Captain.
Nope.
Lord Captain.
Anything you want to talk about, new kid? He looks at you intently, his head tilted. How long have you served the Inquisition?
Since the day of my initiation as an acolyte. So, decades. How many real years it's been, it's hard to say. When I return from a journey through the warp, I often discover that much more or much less time has passed in real space.
You visited many worlds during your service, I'd wager.
Indeed. I have visited many of the places brought to the Emperor's light, and those sullied by the filth of the archenemy. In truth, even after all these years spent visiting the various corners of the Imperium and looking beyond its borders, I still consider the Segmentum Solar to be the greatest of all humanity's bastions. Nothing compares to the majesty of Holy Terra, the might of Mars, the grandeur of the Segment's other worlds.
What duties have you been carrying out for the Inquisitor?
You can't really be expecting me to answer that question, can you?
You can't blame a girl for trying, though, right? The interrogator returns your look and smiles, but thanks to the expression in his ice-cold eyes, the effect is rather unnerving. For someone who's been in service for decades, you certainly don't look it.
The first step for biomancers such as myself is to take control of the processes of their own body, including aging. I've endured innumerable hazards in my work. If I allowed every trace of them to remain, I would look completely different today.
Okay, but we were flirting.
Gladly.
Can you tell me a bit more about yourself?
I'm usually the one interested in the pasts of those around me, not the reverse. I come from a night world, Guizorn 3. I belong to a branch of one of the noble houses until my exceptional abilities were discovered. After that, I was sent on a black ship to Holy Terra, where I was trained, and I began my service for the glory of the Imperium.
So, a night world, feudal worlds that are home to ancient noble dynasties trained to pilot the engines of the war called the Imperium. Okay. Do you remember your home planet?
I do, but I have no ties to my homeworld now. None except my first name. I left Guizorn 3 when I was still a child. My family disowned me, stripping me of my family name. I was given a new one by those who trained me. Even for a noble, being branded a Psyker is a mark of eternal shame. I experienced that firsthand before I was put on the black ship.
Can I ask how you discovered your abilities?
Like many Psykers unaware of their curse, I found out when a strong emotional reaction triggered an involuntary response. My great-aunt had a pet grink. One day, it bit me, and I boiled it from inside out.
Oh.
And when my great-aunt slapped me for what I'd done, I boiled her too.
Sorcerer's powers are truly dangerous. I hope you... Tess, girl! I expected a more dramatic story. I don't know what I'm more surprised by, the absurdity of the story or the fact they are capable of such a show of emotion. I don't know which one I like better, 2 or 3. Cause no, and no. Like, I wish that there was if you too are a psyker, there's a way to like have a. No, I get what you mean, kind of. You know what I mean? Like some way to just kind of say like, nah, I get you. Like I'm there with you. Like I too had like a shitty way I found out about my abilities, if that makes sense. I expected a more dramatic story.
If I were to summon a demon or rain down fire on everyone's heads, we wouldn't be standing here talking right now. However, I took the life of a family member. In my opinion, that is more than enough drama.
Clearly you haven't hung out with Tess enough yet, because that's not enough drama for her, apparently. Tell me about the black ship.
Picture a vast prison ship, filled with frightened, angry psychers who can't control their abilities and who have just lost their homes and their families. Some of them were children and adolescents like I was. Some were monstrous creatures who no longer had the right to be called human, or psychopaths who reveled in their impure powers. Once, when one of the miscreants broke free, those in command simply depressurized the bay and got rid of the culprit, along with the prisoners and crew tainted by him. But even after that, I heard the echo of inhuman suffering and terror that filled that part of the ship. It grieves me to recall that episode to this day.
Oh my goodness. You were sent to the Inquisition straight after training?
No. First, I was accorded the status of a Psyker, fit for service in the Imperial Guard, where I then spent several years. It was only afterward that I became an agent of the Golden Throne.
He stops there, clearly not intending to elaborate further. So are you the Inquisitor's only acolyte?
Of course not. The Lord Inquisitor's entourage comprises dozens of people. The best of the best. Experts in various fields and disciplines. Some of them I know personally. Others I have never met. To be honest, I'm not even certain that the people I know are still alive. I used to work with other acolytes of the Lord Inquisitor, but in the Koronus Expanse, I have been working alone.
Wandering among the stars without family or friends, don't you get lonely?
I had never even considered such a thing before you asked. Perhaps I do. Sometimes.
Okay. I'm not bad at a conversation partner. Should you ever want company, such criminal neglect of your need. Do we do it? Do we do it? We have, like, I feel, you can't not at this point, right? She's come too far, y'all. We gotta try it.
Your concern for my needs, Lord Captain, is extremely unexpected. Would you like to remedy my deficit of personal interaction? I would not be opposed to a pleasant conversation, if you can find the time.
Okay. I guess that means he likes her? If you're an interrogator, does that mean you hold a special position?
We are not a retinue. We are acolytes. As for your question, I am closer than anyone else to the one I call my personal teacher. The Lord Inquisitor deemed me worthy of undertaking the most important and sensitive tasks requiring the attention of agents of the Golden Throne.
Are there other acolytes in the Koronus? The interrogator narrows his eyes at you and releases a disappointed sigh. After several seconds of silence, you realize you will not be getting an answer.
Such as?
I shall leave. Okay. So, I think Tess has well and truly flirted. Y'all, I think Tess has flirted more. Oh, did we? I think we had talked to Pascal, but maybe we didn't. Like, I feel like we didn't actually. Hold on. Let's go see him. Like, I feel like you can't not at this point.
The Messiah knows all, comprehends all.
I want to know the truth about you.
The request is approved. I did conceal certain information. I was a student of Archmagus Amanat, but I committed an act of betrayal after he deviated from sacred dogma.
What did Amernat do?
He fell into schism and challenged the sacred boundaries of knowledge. The blessed Amanat claimed the limits of what is permitted must be expanded, because by refusing to explore certain law, we find ourselves in contempt of the seventh universal law. Comprehension is the key to all things. My mentor put forth a thesis claiming that we have stagnated, that ritual is now nothing but a cage for souls and false worship of the Omnissiah. He sought to break the cycle of mindless repetition because he saw the inevitable demise of our faith and all humanity at the end of it.
Certain aspects of the Imperium have indeed ossified. His argument does sound reasonable.
This statement is false. My mentor's words sound like heresy. Limits were established because it is dangerous to venture beyond. Each step past them could lead to a bloody slaughter, but the blessed Amanat was not afraid.
How did you... Who's the tech priest named Abel? Who is he?
Assessing his personality is difficult. The spirit of Brother Abel is different from that of most people. 10 comrades of the cog call such persons quiet ones. He possesses significant intellect, but shuns communication. So far, I have not been able to determine why Abel summoned me to Rycat Minoris. How he is related to the Blessed Amanat, or why he bears the same name as me. Perhaps Reverend Abel may not be fully able to actualize and interpret the available data.
So why did you come here?
I was summoned there by a message that was encrypted with the Blessed Amanat's personal code, and could it be interpreted in several ways. One thing was certain. We were in danger, and I had to go to Rycat Minoris.
What are you gonna do next?
I was wrong when I assumed it was the blessed Archmagus Amanat who assumed the guise of Abel Haneman. But there is a connection between him and the Reverend Abel, and I intend to uncover the nature of this link.
How did you betray Amernat?
The teachings of the blessed Amanat spread, and word of it reached the conclave of the Cognizance fleet. They recognized his teachings as tech heresy. Many tech priests suddenly vanished or were subjected to servo penance for minor transgressions. The students of Amanat, whose number included many enlightened and respected brothers, resisted. My prognosis showed that our most likely future was a schism and a fratricidal war that would destroy the Cognizance fleet. That was when I headed to the Conclave. I confessed and handed the information about my mentor's research over to the Conclave. Brazen, anathematic studies of the Forbidden Law. The Conclave could use that data to summon Archmagus Amanat to stand trial and compel him to repent on pain of excommunicate traitoris. His subsequent fate is unknown to me.
You acted as a loyal son of the Imperium should, so you betrayed your mentor.
This statement is true. However, I took this step out of loyalty to my mentor. He rejected caution and was leading us to a blasphemous war where he would become the first and most important victim. I did not want to witness his destruction and tried to force him to submit. I wanted to return to my mentor and share his fate. but the Conclave found me repentant and sent me to the station Alter Templum Calixis EXT-17, where I was to atone for my previous transgressions.
You're as good at finding excuses as you are at technology. I don't think I'll be able to try. No, I think we're gonna go with this one.
This statement is false. I, Pascal Hahnemann, fully accept responsibility for my profane acts and betraying the trust of my esteemed mentor.
It's interesting that they're broken by the nervous crackle of his vox. Like, you can almost see how Pascal was leaning towards actually agreeing with his mentor, but he's forcing himself not to. And not necessarily because he thought his mentor was wrong, but because he was afraid of the schism of what would happen if there was a war, what would happen if these thoughts were true, if these things that Amernat were saying actually became put forth, stuff like that, and like for Amernat's safety. So he did it out of that, but he's been making excuses the whole time as to why he did it. And even if they're not excuses and it sounds like justified reasoning to him, one could also perceive it as excuses. So that's actually really interesting.
Acknowledged. I will return to ruminating on the search for the blessed Amernat.
Okay.
May your labors be effective and fruitful.
Thank you, Pascal. You too. So, we have learned both about Pascal and Heinrich today. Excellent. Good. Good. Let's go see what the ever so thoughtful governor has in store for us. I'm sure it's nothing. I'm sure this is just a lovely little conversation that could possibly go wrong. Right? Right. It's fine. So let's leave Pascal and then bring Cassia instead. I think I want to try this. Am I potentially making a foolish mistake? Yes. 100% yes. But you know what? I'm willing to gamble. And if it turns out to be awful, I'm just gonna load back into the save file that we just made and then, start over.